my career. Okay, that's not a thumbs up moment. I'm counting. I am putting up fingers. Yep. But yeah, my career, my relationships, my life. Like for example, I wasn't taking care of myself. Like I wasn't shaving for weeks, and I had like a messy room always. Like I would look around my dorm and I would not be able to see floor. Like it would just be my clothes all over the floor. And I'm like, oh, and I'll go to work and I'll just be like, maybe not. And then I'll turn around and I'll go home and I'll lie down in my bed for 8 hours scrolling on TikTok. And then I get up and I'm like, no. And I would miss lives and I'll do all this stuff and I'll be mean to people. And it's kind of like when you want to, okay. It's sensitive to talk about, and I don't want to trigger too many people, and I don't want to go too deep into it. But if you find yourself doing similar things, you can leave a comment. I'm in the same spot currently. I'm in a downhill, and I'm losing my commitments. My parents have said so much about how messy it is, but I have no motivation to clean it. Bro, I'm living in a mess, literally. I have bad eating habits. Yes, exactly. And like, for example, I would go to the gym, and then I would come back and be like, and I'll eat like 6 ice creams. It needs to be talked about. We really appreciate you talking about sensitive topics. We love you. My room is honestly a mess. And that's okay. And you have to identify the kind of things that are stressing you out. And it's hard to do so alone. And until I go and I call a friend, and it's really hard to call a friend, and they kind of just ask you what's going on and like all this stuff. And you just open up, you know, like, hey, like I recently had this person like steal from me, or like, oh, I recently like been going through these things. I recently been going through these things. My music video got canceled. Oh, I got accepted into a program and then it didn't happen. And then there's only so many times that you can pick yourself up until you get tired, right? And that's what I used to tell myself. And then I realized that's not true. That is not true, okay? No matter how many times you fall, you always can get back up. You can always do it. I don't think I've seen the floor in my room for months. Yes, exactly. And guys, basically what I'm saying is don't isolate yourself. And that was the worst thing that I did, okay? I knew that everything I was doing was terrible. Like, I would wake up and I'll be like, this is my commitment. Whether, like, for you guys, it's like, hey, I needed to go meet a friend today. Or, oh, hey, I needed to do my homework. Or, hey, I needed to go to work. And I just didn't. Like, you wake up and you know. And then if you call a friend, they're going to be like, yo, like, you should go to work. You should go do your homework. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I don't want to, right? And you kind of isolate yourself because you don't want to listen to it, right? And I kind of feel like that friend right now, like, yo, go clean your room. But that's not what this is, okay? It's not about, hey, yo, go and clean your room. It's about, okay, what's wrong? Why are you self-sabotaging? Am I self-sabotaging? Is there something that I'm avoiding? For example, I didn't want to deal with this problem that I had recently. And I think of myself as like a pretty strong person, right? But I'm like, I don't want to deal with this right now. And I go and then I scroll TikTok for 18 hours. And then I get up and I'm like, And then it comes back and I'm like, nah. And I go back on TikTok and I watch TikTok until I can't. And then I fall asleep. And then I wake up and I get stressed and I'm like, nope. And I just avoid and I avoid and I avoid and I avoid, right? So I'm here to ask you, what's wrong? Are you okay? What is stressing you out? What is one thing in one word? Is it family? Is it work? Is it drama? Do you feel trapped by drama around your friends? Do you feel trapped by this? Do you not want to go out because of this? and just be like, you know what? This is what it is. So take a second to think. Parents or me, just be like, I don't know, it's me. Like I don't like the way I look. Okay, that's acceptable. Is it family? Oh, job? It's a rent. Because if you're living in America, it's probably rent. Drama. I feel like I'm living a lie. Yes. My voice, money, all this stuff. It's okay. It's okay. And what are you doing right now? And is it helping? Or is it making it worse? And what is your end goal with your actions? Is it to just avoid it? I moved with my best friend and left a really bad relationship, and she has 5 kids. Yes, it's okay. You're not alone. My sister, she went through a divorce, and she fell into like some, well, I'm not going to put her business out there, but she fell into like a bunch of bad habits. Like she was in a super big rut, and then she just does things to avoid. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Your room is messy? It's okay. It's okay. Because the room is not the problem. Okay? It's the family. It's the drama. The room is not the problem. You being on TikTok is not the problem. Because that just makes yourself more stressed, you know? You have a problem and you go, no, forget this. I don't have a problem. And then you go and then you do this and then now this becomes the problem, you know? And people are like, and you go and you talk to people and people are like, yo, like, maybe if you got off that damn phone or maybe if you clean your room, but it's not about cleaning the room. It's about the other thing. So what is the other thing? You know what I mean? Someone goes, so me, I'm the problem. No, guys, no. Problem is not you, it's something else. And it's something happening, and you have to acknowledge it. And you have to be like, okay, that's what's going on. And what is your end goal? For me, it was to give up. The deepest thing in my heart that went against my belief was giving up. I never wanted to give up no matter what. And my whole life, it was very easy to give up at every moment. And I shared my story with you guys before about the being homeless, about being robbed and scammed, and then going here and being like mistreated and all this stuff, and then like opportunities falling apart, all this stuff. It's always easy to give up, but I never wanted to give up. I told myself I'm not going to give up. So when I finally was like, you know what? It's time. I'm burnt out, stressed. I didn't have this in my head, but now I know. I was burnt out. I was stressed. I was this, and that. And I just still didn't want to give up. So my solution was to like, okay, my solution is super bad, okay? Was to give up physically. I was like, it's time to unalive. And then I kind of was like, you know what? Maybe tomorrow. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna unalive. That's dumb. But then that stayed. And I started like sabotaging. And I started to ruin everything that wasn't, like, I was like, okay, I want to give up, but I can't, so I'm just going to fail. The only time procrastination helped you? Yes. So my end goal was to give up. And my end goal was to stop. But I couldn't recognize that. I was just like, yeah, I'm a terrible person. Yeah, I'm lazy. Yeah, I'm this. And then it becomes negative self-talk and it becomes insecurities and like all this stuff. And one thing about your brain is that your brain loves consistency, okay? If you tell yourself that you are lazy, if you tell yourself that you're a mess, then you're gonna be a mess. And you're gonna be lazy. And there's gonna be things in your head where you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm lazy anyway, so I'm just gonna do this. Oh, I'm a terrible person anyway, so I'm just gonna do this, right? But why are you telling yourself you're a terrible person? Why are you telling yourself you're lazy, right? You know what I mean? How did you get out of that habit? So, one, right? I want to focus on things week by week because I think this is a big topic and this is something I still deal with. How do you deal with grief? 2020 through 2024, I lost many important people and they still affect me where I wanted to give up. I was also dealing with bullying and losing many friends. Hold on, you are saving me money from therapy? Okay, first of all, no, I am not. I am not. I am not a replacement for a therapist. I'm just a friend who's checking up on you. Okay? You good? What are you running away from? What are you running away from? And whatever it is, we've done this on other mental health lives, but write it down and release it. Always release it. Because if you keep it in, it manifests in other ways like self-sabotage. Right? For example, I didn't want to talk to anyone about the bad situation that I was in, right? I was like, no, if they tell me this, they're just going to tell me to do whatever. And I don't care. And like, they don't really know. So like, what's the point? Whatever, I'm just not going to think about it. And then I go and scroll for 18 hours. Right? So, if you suppress it, then it manifests and it comes out in different ways. Right? So, let it out. If you have a friend that you can trust, send them a text. Be like, hey, do you have like 20 minutes? I've been going through a really hard time and I just need to talk to someone. Right? And you'll be surprised. You'll be very, very surprised who's going to listen. And there's going to be people who don't listen. Right? So you get their consent. You ask them. You don't just throw it on them because then that's kind of messed up. Like, don't trauma dump. Like, but then trauma dumping isn't trauma dumping if you have their consent. So you ask them, hey, you're my friend. I've been going coffee. I've been going through a hard time. Can I talk to you for like 10, 20 minutes? And you just go like, hey, they go like, hey, what's wrong? Like, you good? And then they're like, yeah, I just need someone to listen. Do you have time? And they're like, yeah. Or they're gonna be like, no, maybe like tomorrow. And you're like, well, we could call again tomorrow. But if you don't have someone like this, if you don't have someone like this, just go and write it down. That's what I did. I just wrote it down. I got a pen and paper and I just wrote it down. What if you don't want to tell people because you're embarrassed? Write it down. Write it down. My friend would just say, yeah, no, okay, bye. Yep, write it down. Write it down. Poma, I appreciate these lives, and to be honest, I feel like every time I vent, my friends don't care. Did you get their consent? Did you get their consent? Did you text them and tell them beforehand that you needed to talk to someone? Or were you in a friend group? Or were you hanging out? Were you at the function? Bringing negative vibes? Don't bring negative vibes to the function. I'm depressed. I would be mad. I'm like, damn, I'm at the function. I'm trying to vibe. Why you messing up the vibe at the function? And I'm depressed. You know? But if someone texts me and goes, yo, man, I need to talk, I would drop everything I'm doing and go listen. Because that's what's up. Okay? I don't have friends that close to me. If you don't have friends or family that's close to you, it's okay. Just write it down. And it's like, there's a time and place for venting. Yes. In a place where you have asked for consent. Because your problems are not their problems. It's not bothering them or anything. But your friends want to be there for you, but you have to help them be there for you. Okay? What if you're scared to ask? Just ask. Beomhan told you to ask. Beomhan told you to ask. Hey, excuse me. So I was watching this live, and Beomhan told me that if I was going through a hard time, it's not really my fault, and then I feel like I just need to talk to someone. And you're like one of the closest friends I know. Do you have like 20 minutes to like listen to me? They're like, no, not right now. They're like, oh, okay. And you go write it down. Or they're gonna be like, oh yeah, of course. And you'll be surprised. I have met a lot of friends who would help me out that I never thought would help me out. I don't want to burden anyone. It's not a burden. You're taking 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And at the end, be like, hey, you helped me feel a little bit better. And they're going to be like, oh, I feel great. They're not going to feel burdened. Hold on, do you need to cry? No, I'm good, I think. I don't know. I'm self-sabotaging right now. I just say, F it, we ball. Exactly. You know, sometimes we do just ball. But it takes time to get there. What was I saying? I feel like I got distracted. Right, okay. So, having a support system, okay? It'd be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is self-sabotage. And there's this. Okay, boom. The other signs of self-sabotage, okay? By selfcare.recipe. Thank you, selfcare.recipe. They posted it during Mental Health Month. And I forgot to go do mental health lives on Mental Health Month. Oops. A lot of people. Okay, so I just saw a comment. I'll leave this up for a bit while I talk about it. Okay. I know that this content isn't like super popular, I guess. And it's not really me being funny. Next time I'll throw up a Subway Surfers like this, and then the entire live will be a Subway Surfers 1 hour compilation. And it's gonna be me in the corner talking about mental health. Okay? Next Monday, that is what the live will be. But and anyway, like I personally struggled with a lot of this stuff, and a lot of it was me isolating and kind of me being in neglect. So having someone talk about it, having someone validate that it's okay to go through stuff, it would have really helped me during that time. So that's why I am still doing this, even though it's not as popular. And I hope I can help and save at least one person. And yeah. And with okay. I don't want to get too emotional right now. But with all the things going, I hope that my career and my dreams can help you see that there's a life past your depression. There's a life past your trauma and your struggle. And there are dreams on the other side of what you are going through. And if you want to give up, I hope that you can look to Beomhan. If you have no one else, and see that things will get better. And when you think it is your time, it is not your time. You don't decide when your time is. And the best thing and the only thing you can do is to keep going. One day you will be pregnant like me. I hope you're okay, Beomhan. We're proud of you for being strong. It's okay.